There is only one circumstance that gets me to go to the gym this early, and that is because it is officially time to start cutting for the next surgery. That's just one of those weird things I don't understand how my brain works, because it's almost like if I don't make it harder for myself when I have to cut, then I'm just not as adherent, I'm not as into it. And if it's too easy, then I just start slipping off plan every single time. This is the beginning of the going into surgery, so I have to get my loose skin pretty much emptied in my back to have the best result cut series. It's a very long title. And I don't know what it is about going to the gym early in the morning and doing your cardio, but I really think that there's nothing that gets you more energy during the day than doing your cardio the first thing. And I don't know who else is like me here, but I love doing cardio. I hate starting cardio. Like the physical act of getting onto the machine and starting is the worst thing in the world. The second you're on there, you're fine. Partially because that's usually when my game of League of Legends start. And by then I'm usually pretty happy. But the actual act of starting cardio sucks. But yeah, we're just getting to the gym now, and I guess I'll walk you guys through what my cutting days plural, are going to look like moving forward. I've really been enjoying using the elliptical recently. It's been really nice on my knees and my hips, and I can get my heart rate very high without trying too hard. So I played my game of League, I got absolutely swamped, and then it was time to go home. So whenever it does come to cutting, I know that I cannot use my brain when I get really deep into it, because the second I allow myself to think, I allow myself to deviate. I allow myself to let my demons talk. And the way that I've been able to do everything so efficiently is by not letting them speak. So I wrote down the exact diet on these sticker thingies, and I'm literally just gonna slap them on the fridge. This is honestly one of the smartest hacks I have ever figured out, just because, again, you don't want to have to think about food. The entire way that I was able to be this successful is by freeing up my brain of all the time I used to spend around like thinking about food, and now I get to think about other stuff like the businesses, it's all the businesses. I work like 24/7. The point is, so now I have my training day diet there, and then I'm going to put the rest day diets next to it because they are slightly different. Now, this is the exact same one that I've been following for a bit, but again, I used to deviate once in a while. That's not going to be happening anymore. When I start cutting, I tend to get pretty serious. So first things first, I have to send Marcello, the coach, some check-in pictures, and then I'm going to send it to him and say, hey, let's cut aggressively for the next surgery. I essentially, like, the love handles have gone down quite a bit, but I want there to be as little fat as possible in this region when it gets cut, because the less that gets taken out, the less traumatic on your body, the entire experience, but also the thinner I can get my skin prior to surgery, the better the long-term result, because I'm going to need to, again, crush down to like 5% body fat next time I compete. And if there was too much tissue remaining because it wasn't thin enough, then that can create more loose skin, which is sort of, against what we're trying to do as a whole thing here. So, breakfast time. And then I do have my first coaching call with my client at 10 a.m. So for the routine, I'm back on my routine that everybody seems to hate, but I'll be going back to the gym now 3 times a day. Or at least I'll be moving 3 times a day, because in the mornings, I'll always be here to do my cardios. At night, around like the mid-afternoon-ish is when I come here to do the main workout. And then come nighttime, I'll do my last cardio, which I might just do at home on some days, especially if it starts snowing. But for the most part, I like moving 3 times a day. To me, it keeps me busy. And I feel as though I do a lot of my good thinking when I'm on the treadmill. Today's a pull day, and I have to say that I feel as though I haven't been able to really get the full, that mind muscle connection to my back for years, but finally I'm getting it. Like, I can literally feel my back growing over the last few months, and that's just the coolest thing ever. So, all right, let's get back to it. So I did a total of 3 sets of the lat pull downs, and I would change the grip for the last 2 to be able to hit a different part of my back that I feel as though I don't touch a lot. And that's why I love this machine so much. Moved over to some single arm rows where I started warming up with the 90s before eventually moving up to the 115s, which felt honestly amazing. And it hurt my core a tiny bit having to brace, but nothing that's too intense. And then I moved over to the lat pull downs, which honestly have been amazing since I've been able to connect with my back. And then came the pec deck. And I mean, look, I'm not going to hide it. I have very, very good muscle building genetics, but when it comes to my skin, I just don't have the best skin ever. And especially considering how I'm not even taking anything at the moment and my skin on my back already looks like that, I know that it's going to be a tricky road when I actually do start the spicy supplements post-surgery, when we actually start pushing foods. So it's going to be an interesting journey to also be able to document how I'm going to take care of that, because obviously if my skin looks horrible, then that's not going to perform well on stage. So I'm excited to be able to take you guys through that. After the pec deck came the shrugs, and then I was supersetting that with some hammer curls. And let me tell you, that hurt in all the right and probably the wrong ways. Did a few sets of hammers until I couldn't really feel my fingers anymore, and then did the usual, oh, by the way, sorry for yawning, looked at myself in the mirror, and it was time to go home. All right. I just got home just in time. Beautiful box sitting outside my door. Butter knife is not it. So we got to do my usual monthly PVL drop unboxing thingamajig. This one is actually a very simple one today. I got the Berry Dominate pre-workout. The Dominate pre-workouts are just my favorite. Like, I've tried the Ghost pre-workouts and all this stuff, but this stuff just feels so much more cracked out, and I like cracked out pre-workouts, so it works really well for me. And then for my usual tubs of protein, strawberry, because this one mixes in Greek yogurt and makes it taste like it was just normal strawberry yogurt, which is crazy. And the cookies one in Greek yogurt, it's like, because there's like tiny little chocolate chips in there, it just tastes like little chocolate chips in your yogurt. It's really nice. And then obviously, last but not least, the usual go-to, chocolate peanut butter. Chocolate peanut butter will always be my favorite flavor by PVL, without question, always. So I'm just gonna have my post-workout meal. And while I'm eating, I'm gonna walk you guys through what my macros look like while I'm cutting. Oh, there he goes, ready. So for the diet, the macros I'm gonna be having to start this cut are gonna be, I'm gonna be around 2590, so 2600 calories, around 2600 with 274 grams of protein, 251 carbs, and 42 fats. And then Marcello, when I send him the new parameters of what I want to do, then I'm sure he'll adjust those, and when he does, I'll let you guys know what that is exactly. But the next couple of days are actually going to be very interesting for you guys to follow, because I am going to stay perfectly on plan while I'm traveling. So I'm going to Dallas, Texas tomorrow, and I'm going to be there for the next entire week, because there's the official Strongman Games, so OSG. And at OSG, they wanted me to come around, like, be there, the same thing that I do for summer shredding, really, which is just like go around and like do their stories and their lives and all their videos and stuff. So I'm gonna be doing that over there, and that's why I'll be collabing over the next week with like Mitchell Hooper, Trey Mitchell, Evan Singleton's gonna be there, like all the big boys that I used to film with. So that's gonna be really cool, because a lot of them haven't seen me at all since I was really fat. So that'll be really interesting. But otherwise, the other parameters that I'm going to be following on the diet is 6 liters of water religiously at a minimum. And we're going to start cardio at 40 minutes a day, or whatever 2 games of League of Legends looks like. Because as you know, I don't actually count my cardio in any other format. Okay, and I actually just realized something that's very interesting. So because I'm actually traveling for the next few days, we get the opportunity where I'm going to show you guys what I actually pack in my bags whenever I travel to never miss on my trips. This is how I always stay consistent. All right, so most people would probably consider me pretty well traveled, especially when it comes to dieting. I was traveling so much actually during the chunk of my transformation, because especially after I got brought on by Transcend and stuff, because they were just sending me everywhere. But there's a few items that I always bring that are non-negotiables that help me just stay on track. But first, we just got to put a bit of clothing in here so it acts as a padding. Although we have a bit of a cushion, the first non-negotiable item I actually bring my scale with me every time I travel. Unfortunately, the scale that I used during the bulk of my transformation broke, and that makes me very, very sad. Because that scale had been to several countries actually with me. And another non-negotiable item is the food scale. And then one more thing I never miss is I always bring foods, especially the foods that are harder to find anywhere. Like let's say the ALPHALETE cream of rice, that, good luck finding that in stores for most places. So that I'll always bring. And then I'll always bring rice cakes because I'm an addict. What I'll do is, instead of snacking on the plane, which is way too easy to do, I'll always take half a sleeve out and I'll just throw that right in my backpack. So that, again, even if, because when you're traveling, it's not necessarily about staying 100% on plan, it's more so about controlling how you deviate. Because sometimes variables come into play and you just can't help it. So in this case, if I were to eat a couple rice cakes, that's much better than if I were to take the chocolates that they give us on the plane. Another important thing to not forget is your training equipment. I don't plan on stopping the intensity at all when I'm down there. There's actually one amazing gym over there called Absolute Recomp that's in, I believe, Fort Worth. I don't know, it's just close to the airport, like in Dallas. So definitely gonna be hitting that up. So knee straps, wrist wraps, always. Now for this one, if it's just a day trip, I don't usually bring it because it doesn't matter all that much. But since I'm going for a full week, the CPAP is definitely a must. I'm probably gonna do a video soon about like the differences in my sleep score when I use a CPAP versus when I don't, because it's honestly drastic. And that's it for the essentials of how to keeping on track. It's really not that complicated, nor should it be, but making sure to have these items on board. Oh fuck, one more thing. Bringing 1 or 2 containers will save you a lot of annoyance in the hotels when you're trying to microwave stuff. All right, that's it. Yeah, we're gonna call it here. Hope you guys have a great day. See you guys on the trip. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's change the world together.